moving on, but then you went too far. When your ship has sailed and all your dreams are lost, everything is wrong, you feel like it's your fault. Just remember, I will be there for you, baby. Remember, there's nothing out there to get you, don't forget it. When life throws lemons, just call me. Just call me. Just call me. Just call me. You're stronger now than you ever been. You gotta leave now, it's time to catch the wind. You will climb up high and look through the clouds, and when you're feeling low, I know you'll bounce back. Oh, and just remember, I will be there for you, baby. Remember, there's nothing out there to get you, don't forget it. When life throws lemons, just call me. Just call me. Just call me. Just call me.
I hope you're ready. This is going to be exciting.
And the Geico restart zone to go. Green flag is out and we're underway.
Just a few laps into this. Oh, the 37's getting loose. Oh, and he saves it. Oh, they're going 3 wide.
We've got a 5-way fight for the win of this race coming to 4 laps to go. He's gonna win it here in spectacular fashion.
From Darlington Raceway, the Lady in Black The INvets Operation Valor Truck Series is ready to get it on right here in the Palmetto State. Good evening, everyone, and welcome here to the Tony Trapasso Memorial Broadcast booth where myself, Dave Riegel, and Jordan Brockell bring you a special event here on iRacing that you won't find anywhere else. It's a league race on Super Bowl Sunday. Ladies and gentlemen, things have been getting hotter and hotter here in the Goat Locker Racing League, and we cannot be more excited about what's going on. I mean, here's the thing, Jordan, as we get ready to settle in here, I got to be honest, I personally have never had a league like this that has been more exciting.
Absolutely not. I mean, these guys get faster and faster each and every single week, and they get more and more intense each week too. And you know, it's going to continue to pick up as we tick off these races throughout this schedule.
As here we are in week number 4. As a matter of fact, we'll pull up that beautiful bean footage right here for you as we get things underway. Of course, it says week 4 at Charlotte. That's supposed to say Darlington Motor Speedway or Darlington Raceway. For reasons I can't quite figure out, it just cleared itself out. Let's see if we can get that fixed. Anyway, regardless, here we are in week number 4, and I got to be honest, I didn't think that we would get here alive after watching some of the stuff that we had the last few weeks. I thought I was going to wind up on the floor having a heart attack.
Yeah, I mean, if anything, if this season continues the way that it has and continues to get more and more chaotic, and it's not even chaotic in a, you know, like wrecking each other, you know, like causing a lot of problems. It's just the intensity on the track. If it keeps going on up and up and up, I'm going to have to start taking some kind of blood thinner just to, you know, keep my blood pressure down.
That you will, as it's 71 degrees on the asphalt tonight, 69 under the lights here. And, you know, here's the thing. This is one of those racetracks where it is a hallmark here in NASCAR. And as we get excited, of course, for the Super Bowl tonight, we will always be looking forward to next Sunday when NASCAR opens up the 2025 campaign at Daytona International Raceway. As we get ready to rock and roll, we want to take a look at last week's winner. And I'll tell you what, last week, Joseph McWhorter put on a show for us, and I could not be more excited to be up in the booth for that. We, of course, have points as well, but McWhorter picked up his first W in GLR last week with Keith Haney and Brandon Wallace rounding out the podium. And, you know, overall, I'll tell you what, that race last week, I wouldn't say that it was a barn burner, but it was definitely a dominant performance as McWhorter captured his second podium in 2 races and his first win here in the GLR family. As, you know, as I mentioned, Haney and Wallace brought home the rest of the podium.
Yeah, and I mean, there was a good few contenders for that win as well, but, you know, ultimately McWhorter just kind of found his way around a lot cleaner, a lot smoother, and, you know, things fell in his lap the way that he needed to, and it just all worked out for him.
That, of course, you know, finally brings us to the points for the season. Now, we don't have a graphic up for that yet, as they're still working on that in the art department. However, that does move. That win last week moves Joseph McWhorter into the top spot as he's got 48 points on the season. Chance Taylor with a win and David Duke each with 47 points and a win to their credit. So, you know, first things first. 1 point separates, you know, the 2 drivers in second position, tied for second position, and the lead. 45 points to Mike George, and your top 5 rounds out with Keith Haney at 42. So only 6 points separate the top 5 slots. And even so, only 10 points separate Jeremy Gardner, who's in 13th right now, actually tied for 13th with Matthew Hott and Lucas Lyon. So in that 13th, you know, basically 13th position, there's only 10 spots or 10 points that separate that from the lead of the points. You know, we've got a long season to go. We could see someone like Jesse Whittington or Max Shade or Travis Bieber, you know, make that run at the points lead.
Yeah, for sure. And, you know, with how tight it already is now, you know, I think it's going to stay that way through the majority of this season. I don't think we're going to have anyone run away with any crazy amount of points or anything of that nature. It's a really tight-knit group of racers here, very dominant skill levels throughout the entire field. So you're going to see people who do better at, you know, the shorter tracks and people that do really good at the intermediates. We're going to see the people that may luck through or are just better on super speedways. and of course throw in a road course there, and we're going to see someone shine there too. So I think we're going to see these points really kind of stay tight throughout this entire season here.
Yeah, and as we look, to tonight's details, of course, this is the first time that the INvets Truck Series has been at Darlington. Over the last week, this week, and next week, last year in the same stretch, they visited 3 short tracks, with David Duke winning 2 out of those 3, including Dover in week 3 and Richmond in the round of 12 elimination race. Richmond was a must-win after Duke had to request a waiver to the previous week. So David Duke was strapped in and ready, and he had dominated all 106 laps to advance to that round of 8 using this, segment of the season. And speaking of this segment of the season, we want to thank everybody for tuning in tonight. We want to thank our sponsors, of course, as well as above the yellow line. Joseph McWhorter going to be our pole sitter this evening, and we want to thank our good friends over at Jam Printing and Promotions for that as we get that driver info. There it is, out of St. Robert. Jam Printing and Promotions, of course, is our, and where is that? There it is. Our Pole Award presenter out of Plainfield, Indiana. They are local and veteran certified. When they do well, they can do more good in the community. Since forming in 2013, JAM has contributed printing and promotional sponsorships to more than 60 local nonprofits with a primary focus on organizations that assist veterans, women, and children. They have been with Goat Locker Racing since the very beginning, and they provide GLR with all promotional items, including shirts, hats, decals, dog tags, you name it. JAM is GLR's go-to promotional company, and they sponsor the Pole Award across all 3 series. Now we want to check in with our starting lineup as we get underway. We're going to have to do this nice and quick tonight. Joseph McWhorter and Big Duke, they're going to sit on the front row. They'll be followed by Barrett Morton and Lucas Lyons. Andrew Player and Joe Yakes make up row number 3, while row 4 going to be held by Jeremiah Holt and James Kaufman. Jamie Lipke and Casey Jones going to sit in row number 5, while row 6 is going to feature Mark Cofield and Cliff Adams. Tyler Justice and Kevin Price going to be in row number 7, while Mark Hollifield and Charles Abert are going to be in row number 8. Starting 7th in row number 9 on the inside is Alex McQueen with Keith Haney on the outside. And starting shotgun on the field tonight would be Jesse Whittington, but he has opted not to get in the car yet. As we get everybody loaded up here for Barry, essentially, as they come down the backstretch and into turn number 3, we want to thank... Oh!
Some pre-race unintentional activity here.
They're going to have to delay the start of the race. This is a new development. I don't see what happened here yet. Let's see. So we're going to look from the blimp cam. Hey.
I told you it was going to get intense, more intense the later we got into the season, but I didn't think it was going to, start that soon.
Yeah, that was interesting. That's Mark Hollifield. And the
I'm not
10
sure
of
who
James
that...
Kaufman also had a little bit of an issue. I hate to do this without transitioning, but I gotta watch. What in the world? It's like
I think maybe Libke maybe was trying to get in the spot, and I'm not sure.
Seems a little early to be going 3 wide. So that's going to set things up. The iRacing.com pace car peels on down pit road as they come out of turn number 4. The only thing that's left to do is it's time to wipe the visor and adjust the 5-point harness. Grandma, grab some popcorn, your honey buns, and settle in. Race fans, it's show time! Green flag in the air, underway at the Lady in Black, and already the 17 of Lucas Lyons around.
Libke in the wall as well.
And
we're still green, 87 in the wall now. There's the yellow flag.
There are some very angry folks here tonight.
Lyons looks like he just got loose, throughout that corner. The 87 already missing a fender. And machine of James Kaufman, he gets into the back of the spinning Lucas Lyons there.
Let's watch this from the 17's perspective as we got underway here. The 17 gives a little bit of a love tap to the 78. The 72 of McWhorter gives a little bit of contact to the 17. It loosens the 17, and around he goes right into the nose of the 87, and that collects most of the field here, it seems, to some degree. Lucas Lyons going to bring the 17 down pit side out of Owensboro, Kentucky.
Gonna have to burn those, probably a set of tires early here already and kind of be behind the 8 ball already. Get that damage repaired and everything too as well.
Well, since we have the time, we want to thank our friends over at Above the Yellow Line. In 2021, Above the Yellow Line with Taylor Kitchen began as a podcast fueled by a passion for motorsports and a desire to build community. What started as a simple idea has grown into something far beyond what she could have imagined. Through this journey, Taylor and her team have not only connected with passionate motorsports fans, but have also formed connections with several inspiring content creators united for their love of the sport. That passion and collaboration led to the creation of ATYL Media, a dynamic team of motorsports content creators dedicated to producing motorsports content that's fresh, informative, and fun. At ATYL Media, we cover everything you love about motorsports, from F1 and IndyCar to NASCAR, short tracks, and even virtual racing. We celebrate the sport's rich history, explore its exciting future, and enjoy every moment in between. This is Motorsports Media, your way. And speaking of your way, Big David Duke up here in the 78 going to be restarting P1 to the inside.
It'll be interesting. Wow, interesting to see if McWhorter can have a better start here. He didn't have a great start there at the beginning of the race. Immediately lost the lead to Duke, and didn't really get a good fire off. So let's see if he can get that fire off. And with cold tires already, we've seen that running high against the wall has been dangerous. So see if these guys can keep it together and let these tires come in. That's the thing about Darlington is you carry speed, you think you're good, and then all of a sudden you get to that edge of that metaphorical cushion at these asphalt tracks, and once you jump it, you're around and you're getting that Darlington stripe early.
Yeah, the Darlington stripe is almost required equipment on your truck or car when you race here at the Lady in Black. As we come out of turn number 4, these V8s ready to roar back to life. Some of them for the first time since they haven't come out of idle yet. Green flag in the air, and off we go.
Duke with a big start there. McWhorter not as clean and not as fast. Oh, looked like somebody a little loose down on the bottom already. Yellow flag out again. Didn't see anything.
It's a rough night here.
Didn't notice anything that happened. I did see, I think, the 76 of, I believe the 76 of Hollifield loose, but that was all that I had caught.
We're going to take a look here at Tyler Justice in the 33. The operation. Oh. You know what that kind of looked like? And it didn't look like they made any contact. Oh, my. I'm telling you right now, that may have been our old arch nemesis, Netcode.
Netcode.
Watch the 67. I don't think the 67 made contact with him. Nope.
No, not at all.
So for our friends that work in race control, that don't work in race control, this, where they never actually make contact, right here, folks, this is called netcode. Let's slow this down. You can see the 33. They probably would have made contact anyway, but this was iRacing's way of assuming what was going to happen. And unfortunately, they may or may not have assumed incorrectly this time, as we're 7 laps in here and almost none of them under green. Have we actually, you know what? I'm looking here. I don't think we have completed a lap under green.
I'm not so sure on that one. Everybody's just on that go, all go, no slow method tonight. We've seen a lot of people come through these corners. They're a little loose, a little squirrely. And, you know, just trying to get their bearings under them and taking a little bit more than, you know, they may have the patience for, which I know I never have any patience. And these guys have shown nothing but patience throughout the season. So surely I'd be struggling a lot more.
As the iRacing.com pace car brings us down the front stretch. Of course, this front stretch here at Darlington used to be the back stretch. Have you heard this story?
I honestly have not, but I've, you know, playing all the old games, I know there's been a time or two that I've gone, tried to go down the back stretch pit road and been confused as a kid on why I couldn't go down it.
So you'll see here as we widen things out to the static blimp view, that there are actually 2 sets of grandstands, 4 if you include the front stretches grandstands in turn 4 and turn 1. But here in the foreground, there's a press box, there's a grandstand, there's seating, which is something that you don't usually see on a racetrack. So once upon a time, this was the front stretch, and basically they wanted to reconfigure the track, and they decided to leave those seats in and reversed everything, added pit road to the front side, which is still very wide. Plenty of room on either side of this racetrack. As Big Duke and Joseph McWhorter come out of turn number 4, Duke, with control of the field on the low side, hits the Geico restart zone, and we're underway. Barrett Morton trailing behind him here as he gets the number 9 Riley's Roses Chevrolet Silverado cranked up. Everybody just trying to get some heat into these tires. I mean, we say that it's only 9 laps, an eighth of the way through the race, but they really don't have any heat here in this rubber. As we look back to Lucas Lyons, who was involved in a wreck earlier tonight, trailing Mark Cofield. These guys are trying to get something going here so maybe they can start working forward and make some progress on the night.
Yeah, I mean, if we're not running green flag laps, you can't make any progress forward. And, you know, I mean, as of right now, we're starting to get a little bit of that, everybody taking a breath, kind of backing up a little bit, and, you know, letting the truck come to them. And that's what it's going to take tonight to be victorious is patience.
Patience is always the name of the game, as, of course, we just look here. Joseph McWhorter with a 30.9 second flat lap. You know, when you start to look around the racetrack and you're trying to find where you're going to get to and where you're going to be, you know, where you can position yourself to be in the best, you know, the best place to be successful, you've got to start looking around at these folks. And Barrett Morton just blew, we're under caution. Barrett Morton just laid down fast time and blew McWhorter's time out of the water by almost a second and a half at 29.4 seconds as we're under caution now for the 3rd time tonight. This time it looks like Casey Jones may have been involved. Let's take a peek. Let's watch the 34 here. He said, I think I got it. Oh, you know what, though? In all honesty, out of some of the stuff that we've seen at Darlington over the last 6 decades of racing here, these guys, a save like that for the 34 is just the side of a miracle.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, a lot of the times when you're coming off these corners and you lose it like that, you're headed for that inside wall with no real chance of slowing it down and getting there. Looks like the AT machine's going to be one of our first takers of the night to come down pit road. We had a couple early on at the like second or third lap when they were involved and stuff, but he's going to come down and probably just top off, get some tires, and he'll be good for quite a while.
I want to thank all of you for tuning in on YouTube.com. Of course, pretty low count tonight, of course, with everybody else paying attention to New Orleans, Louisiana, where the Philadelphia Eagles are leading the Kansas City Chiefs 24-0 at the half, as apparently the Eagles are in search of their second Lombardi trophy. Call me when they get 5. As we're on lap number 13 here.
It's been almost 30 years, my friend.
What else do I have to do? I have nothing else to look forward to when football season happens.
I'm just letting you know that we have more than you in the last almost 30 years, and it's only 1.
Folks, you're about to hear a genuine Cowboys-Eagles argument break out. First of all, who is this we you speak of? I've never seen you with a set of pads on.
Listen,
sir,
you know very well how Philadelphia rolls for the Eagles.
Yeah, right down
The
95
town-
and into the river.
The town is a part of the team, so when they win, we win. When they lose, we lose.
It's a good
America's
thing,
team, and you don't even say we. Go Birds.
That's what he says. Of course, we'll try to keep that to a minimum as things get cranked up here. But we want to thank our friends at INvets, founded by veterans for veterans. They aid in transitioning veterans to civilian life and focus on job placement and finding the right community for veterans and their families to ensure their success and happiness. They're a veteran nonprofit in Indiana with the goal of bringing veterans to that state to live and work. And they, of course, are the title sponsor of our Sunday Night Truck Series live here on Sim Racing Media. We want to thank all of you for coming in and joining us from the green flag to the checkered flag tonight. And we want to thank you for welcoming us into your homes and onto your phones, wherever you may be and however you may be listening. As these trucks rumble on by, Barney's got the green flag in his hand. He's in the stand. They come into the Geico restart zone, and off we go on lap number 15.
Yeah, that's probably the best start we've seen from somebody. Oh, he crosses him over. That started on the outside on a restart. He stayed right with McWhorter.
Oh, no!
Oh, he's going to get him.
McWhorter, he's going to save it. He's going to save it. He's got it. The 72.
He's got it
Joseph
saved, but he's
McWhorter.
gonna have a lot of work to do now because he doesn't get a caution for that.
We're going to run that back when we get a quick second here, because Joseph McWhorter just about ended the night for the 72. In fact, he even slowed up a little bit as all of that was going on, because, you know, here we are working, coming out of turn 2 and down the backstretch. The 72 comes across the nose of the 78. Manages to keep it moving forward, and first of all, McWhorter is thanking his lucky stars that he didn't wreck completely. But now he's shuffled from our race lead way back to 14th.
And you can tell that wasn't anywhere near intentional there by Duke, because he was simply just trying to get everything, woed up and try to keep off of him. So you can tell he was not expecting to drift up like he did.
17 laps in the books. Barrett Morton, our new race leader, he qualified on the inside of row number 2. Big Duke still lurking around here in P2. It's where he qualified. It's where he rides. We're going to go on board with him. And, I mean, you can see it. This is a very unique racetrack as Big Duke comes down the backstretch. They're going to ride turn 3 and 4 a little bit higher as we stay on board with him. He's going to keep those wheels above that white line to the left. And right now he's got that truck straddled on either side of that seam. That way he doesn't slip on the tar that seals that seam up. As we cross the start-finish line, we're going to watch a double apex here as he's going to come down, kiss the white line, drift up to the wall. He's going to burp it just a little, and now he gets back on the throttle again and fires off of turn 2. This was NASCAR's original super speedway back when it opened, and it lives up to that kind of reputation.
Oh, 100%. And your goal is to, just like a super speedway, carry as much possible momentum as you can. And that's why you see the guys of, Larson and Reddick and Christopher Bell, those guys that have mastered running as tightly to the wall as they possibly can, carry all that momentum. As it looks like Hollifield, he's got some heavy damage there on the left-hand side of his truck, missing the whole fender.
Yeah, he just called out on pit road, or on race radio, that he's going to be coming down pit road. Yeah, he's definitely missing that front left fender. I didn't see him involved in anything. It looks like he passed Mark Cofield, or I'm sorry, Mark Hollifield passed Mark Cofield safely. Let's see if anything happened when he was trying to get past Cofield. Oh, here it is. Got a little loose there. Nothing crazy. So I'm not sure what might have brought that on, as he is now gone pit side. He'll probably burn that fast repair, as every driver has one. Barrett Morton, our race leader at this moment now, as the 76 is getting its pit service. We have to remember that in these 80 laps, drivers have 4 total sets of tires. So really, if you're trying to keep those tires as fresh as possible, and a place like Darlington chews tires up like a paper shredder, you're going to be coming in every 20 to 30 laps to keep that rubber fresh. They've also got a 60% fuel load and 1 fast repair. And, overall, at least for my money, I'd be in there every 20 laps like clockwork. Barrett Morton, our race leader. We take a peek back here at Lucas Lyons here in the 17 as he's chasing down Jeremiah Holt. Now Holt here in the 73, he's trying to hold him off, but the 17 starting to pick to the low side. He looks to the inside. He's probably not going to get a good entry here into 3 if he pulls that one too soon. As we look back at Casey Jones now in the 34, he's after Charles Abert in lucky number 7. As Abert looks out the rear view mirror, all he can see right now is a lot of asphalt between himself and Casey Jones. So overall, I think this battle here might just cool off for a moment, as Big Duke is starting to creep in here on Barrett Morton. Let's take a peek from the nose, and David Duke now peeking to the inside. If he can get a good fire going down the front stretch, he could maybe even look to try to get around him on the high side. You're not going to be able to do it here in the turns in 1 and 2. You're going to have to do it as you come down the backstretch.
Yeah, there's not a ton of room to make any kind of moves in these turns whatsoever. And I mean, if you do, it's going to be a bonsai dive to the inside, and you're going to clean out the guy, that you're racing for position. And if it's not for the win, he's definitely going to pay you back for it.
About 15 laps to go here from halfway. Barrett Morton, our race leader, he qualified in 3rd. Big mover of the night right now is Keith Haney. He started in 18th, currently runs in 3rd position. Obviously a big benefactor from those earlier cautions as we work here on lap number 27. You're listening to Sim Racing Media live here on YouTube.com. And of course, you're watching the INvets Truck Series, part of the Goat Locker Racing family. Of course, our good friends here at Goat Locker, a 501c3 that is all about giving back to our veterans. And of course, the guys here at Goat Locker have treated us so well, Jordan. And I'm so thankful for the relationship that we've started to develop with these guys. Because I got to be honest, coming in here every Sunday and Monday night with you has just become a lot of fun.
It's always a fun time to work with you, especially on these Goat Locker races. Tons of action, tons of professionalism, and it's a great cause that they support, with veterans and everything around it. So I mean, it's a ton of fun, and we thank them for allowing us to put on these broadcasts and have the fun that we get to.
Absolutely, and we invite everybody to head on over to goatlockerracing.org/donate. As a contributor to Goat Locker Racing, they make sure that your donation goes directly to supporting their cause of helping military veterans and first responders. And we thank you for your generosity in donating to Goat Locker Racing. We also want to check in with our good friends at Lincoln Tech. Lincoln's mission is to provide superior education and training to their students for in-demand careers in a supportive, accessible learning environment, transforming students' lives and adding value to their communities. They are one of the largest automotive technology schools in the nation with 23 campuses, and they are the title sponsor of the Spring Series and a very large partner of Goat Locker Racing. And speaking of a good partner, right now Keith Haley's got a good partner in front of him in the form of Big Duke. They're giving each other plenty of room. This top three you can just about throw a blanket over top of. While we go back through the field, Alex McQueen running in ninth position right now. He's got Andrew Player, 8 seconds ahead of him. Everybody's gotten nice and spread out now. So at this point, we're going to see that cream rise to the top and see those drivers that are really experienced at a place like Darlington start to shine out here under the lights.
Yeah, I think Darlington is one of those tracks that it really caters to the consistent and the smooth driver. And those who have have the talent to be consistent and be smooth and run the truck the way it wants to be run, they're the ones that are going to come to the front. They're going to find their way through everything and track down each and every one of the drivers that are ahead of them.
Yeah, and that's what I think we're going to see out of Big Duke as we get later on into this race here tonight. As we work lap number 33 of 80. We're going to step aside and pay some bills here on Sim Racing Media. I'm Dave Regal, he's Jordan Brockel, and this is the INvets Truck Series brought to you by Goat Locker Racing.
Basket can't defend. He's got the outside line for the second part, and he can't hold on.
Going the long way around. We're going to be 3 wide for the lead as they all come to the line. Who is going to take it in the end?
And here comes Lockwood. He's going to make the move to the outside. Quinn tries to force him off a little bit, but there he goes. It's going to be side by side through turn 1.
Will he be able to cover him off? He does. Weaving back to the left-hand side. Reynolds is trying everything. The kitchen sink is being thrown at it.
They're leaning on each other. Coming into turn number 3. It's going to be a drag race through 3 and 4. Coming back to the line. Here comes Frisch on the bottom. Richard's going to hold the inside. Tries to be the late breaker here. They're going to be side by side through the final chicane. They bang doors, but keep it clean.
As they're still 4 wide on the run down into the back straightaway. Demerit's looking for a line as well. What is going on in Michigan?
Novak into the fence. They're still beating and banging. And to the line.
He is much faster coming through there. Is there damage on Challenger? Abramitis is ahead. It's going to be a race to the line. Who is going to get it?
thriving job market and low cost of living, plus a wide range of veteran benefits, make Indiana the perfect place for veterans of the United States military to call home. INvets can help you find that home. We're an organization started by veterans to help former service members transition to civilian life in our state. INvets can help you find the community with the career opportunities, housing, schools, and amenities that fit your lifestyle. To learn more about INvets, visit us at invets.org today.
Welcome back to Darlington Raceway, where Lucas Lyons is currently a race leader. He last came down to pit on lap number 2. He's joined up top by Joe Yakes, Cliff Adams, and Andrew Player, as Player came in on lap number 13. We are under green flag pit stops, which I got to be honest, Jordan, that doesn't happen very often in a place like Darlington now that these drivers have gotten themselves settled in.
Not at all. And, I think this is actually going to play, in my personal opinion, play into Joseph McWhorter's strategy really well here, because he came down lap 30. The next couple of people that came down were 10 laps after that, 7 to 10 laps after that. So he was able to kind of run out there on fresh Goodyear and kind of run these guys down and make up a lot of that lost time from, his incident. So as these guys that are on older stuff stay out longer and longer, he run each and every one of them down. And, then he's just going to hope that they get to a point where when he's around his next stop, they get a caution. Everybody else would probably come down then as well. So at this current moment, McWhorter's looking to probably bounce back pretty daggone well.
And he shouldn't have that much of a problem bouncing back, as you say. As Lucas Lyons runs his own race here atop the pile, we take a look back here at Joseph McWhorter, our pole sitter, who was involved in that earlier incident after a scuffle there. And now it sounds like perhaps Lucas Lyons is going to come down pit road. He does. He hits the apron and hits it hard. As Andrew Player and now Joseph McWhorter are going to be able to get those laps back. Well, Player's going to stay out. We're going to start to see most of these drivers get that lap back. Maybe Lyons was hoping to trap everybody down a lap under caution.
Yeah, we saw that once before. I can't exactly remember. I think it was the truck race at Charlotte, I believe, is where it was. They caught that caution, trapped everyone a lap down. They all took the wave around. They got an easy, quick pit, and that's probably where about he was thinking in his mind. But didn't work out for him this time. But I don't think he'll have much of you, continuing to stay up front.
Not at all. We see Andrew Player taking over the lead right now in the number 18 McConey setup shop Ford F-150. Joseph McWhorter following here, but separated by about 21 seconds. As drivers are coming back out here, we're starting to see those lap times dip down again as we work lap number 46 of 80. So past the halfway point now. And like I said, Jordan, and to your point from earlier, you were talking about this being, a rhythm racetrack and a patience racetrack. And now that these guys have gotten themselves all dialed in and comfy, it seems a lot more likely that we're going to have some good green flag racing here the rest of the way. As we take a look at the 80, that's Kevin Price out of Findlay, Ohio. And first of all, I love his the gold leaf numbering here with the Maltese cross behind it. Obviously a first responder. How do, brother? As Andrew Player comes on down pit road here on lap number 47. McWhorter came down on 30, so he's going to have to come down early again on his next stop. But as he rolls out of turn number 4, we're going to see him take back over the lead that he had earlier on that really he hasn't had since the drop of the initial green flag.
Yeah, and that's what I was saying with him now reassuming the lead, and he wants to get right to that cusp of his next stop, and then maybe hope for a caution, and hope that some of these guys take on that as well. It'll give him prime position for that ensuing restart if there were to be a caution. So He's going to need just a touch of help to really make this work.
We take a look here inside the cockpit of Joseph McWhorter, and one of the things that I'm noticing is that those hands are mimicking exactly what he's doing in the real world. Are very comfortable right now. You don't see him fighting the steering wheel. You don't see him, looking at a loose condition. He's being very fluid with his motions, with his throttle control. There is a whole lot of discipline going on inside the cockpit of the 72.
Absolutely, and I mean that's what helped him last week win and put on such a dominating performance was being able to kind of carry himself and have that patience, that balance, and everything like that. Is Barrett Morton and Keith Haney go there. Cliff Adams chasing after the 80 machine of Kevin Price, not for position at the moment. Adams, the last man on the lead lap. Oh, gonna get real tight there to the 80 machine. He's going to get a 2-for-1 for that. He's going to have a little bit of a wiggle there coming off corner, but he's going to find his way sitting in 8th position, about 15-second lead over Andrew Player right now. Mark Cofield has had a strong season so far across both series. Big Duke barely just ahead of Barrett Morton right now, working his way after Joseph McWhorter, about just under a second to that 72 machine up the front. And he's certainly gaining on him, as it looks like McWhorter is a little bit of traffic just in front of him with Andrew Player.
Yeah, McWhorter up here with about a half-second lead over Big Duke. We look further back here, and we see what the 78's got behind him. That's Barrett Morton. Now, Morton had a lead for quite some time now as Keith Haney in the 67 chases him down. The 76 is now going to come back off of pit road, as it sounds like he's had his fill of
Big Duke right to the back of McWhorter now. It's a 4-car race, all within a quarter of a second of each other. And this is showing you what 10 laps, about 10 laps does to your tires. It's an old racing surface. It tears up tires, burns them up. And, it looks like Duke is in the inside of McWhorter here now. And that's showing you there is, he just doesn't have the grip to carry the speed that Duke is. But he's certainly not going to make it easy for him at all. 4 trucks all under 0.2 of a second.
And nearly touching is the 78 and the 72 as Big Duke slingshots his way around the 72. And out of nowhere, the 72 just lost all of its momentum. Barrett Morton, you know what? I'm curious what might have just happened here. Let's go back to that where Big Duke was able to pass Joseph McWhorter. Let's watch this again. Duke to the inside, he gets a run. I don't see anything foul yet. The 67 almost drafting with the 78. Oh, the 72 tagged the wall.
Yeah, he tried to throw it in there and carry as much as he could and grab the wall a little bit. Gets a little touch of Barrett Morton that right there should show you just how important tires are. Just 10 laps, and he's already fallen to 2 seconds off of Barrett Morton. Just right there in 3rd place.
An impressive run so far for a lot of these drivers. We had some rumble, stumble, fumble coming out of the gate, but we're down to 24 laps to go here at Darlington Raceway. And, usually by the time I see the ticker switch itself over to counting down at Darlington, I'm usually ready to put my head through the desk, but this has been an incredible race.
Oh, 110%. We had a little bit of a stumble there at the beginning. It happens. These guys are anxious to get going, and I always say that if a race has a bunch of wrecks in the beginning, or even just a handful, it tends to clean up and run a lot better throughout the entirety of the race after, simply because everybody just needs to get the jitters out. Once those jitters are out, it's all racing, and that's all we've seen with these guys up here in the top 3 right now. Is they've all been within just a half a second of each other, pretty much. Oh, this whole race is Duke grabs the wall. It's going to bring Barrett in all over the rear bumper here in a moment.
Duke clipped Justin. Oh, what in the world is going on back here with Hollifield in the 76? We're going to be under. Nope, that's right. This is a very wide berth here. Hollifield having. Oh, geez. Be careful. Keep it green. Keep it green. Keep it green. Keep it
and there's the yellow flag. And we've got yellow on the track.
There was our cause. We were running a really good green flag lap, or green flag run here. It had been, I mean, overall, it had been since lap number 14, so, you know, since we went green.
Yeah, a little bit of cold tire. He was just down, so a cold tire bug. It's difficult at this track.
Well, the 76 thinking that he was down low enough that it wouldn't throw the caution automatically, but unfortunately it did.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't really a ton that he could have done to get spun around there without causing that caution, so that's going to bring down pretty much the entirety of the field here, I would believe. I mean, we see the top 5 just now, so Keith Haney going to run them all the way down.
Wholesale pit stops with 20 to go. This is going to set this up for pretty much a clean finish here to this race if all things remain the way they are.
Yeah, we're going to see we're going to see that they've just got to kind of fight that cold tire bug. I know it's only going to be probably about 17 to go when they come around for the green flag. So they're going to have to fight the cold tire bug and, you know, not be too anxious based off of how much time is left, and just kind of play it smart and be easy. And that's a lot easier said than done, but I mean, that's going to be what you have to do.
Absolutely. Let's take a quick break here. We'll be right back in about 60 seconds to see if maybe this is going to be the conclusion of the INvets Truck Series race from Goat Locker Racing live here at Darlington Raceway. You're watching Sim Racing Media.
A thriving job market and low cost of living, plus a wide range of veteran benefits, make Indiana the perfect place for veterans of the United States military to call home. INvets can help you find that home. We're an organization started by veterans to help former service members transition to civilian life in our state. INvets can help you find the community with the career opportunities, housing, schools, and amenities that fit your lifestyle. To learn more about INvets, visit us at invets.org today.
Welcome back to Darlington Raceway, where Barney just waved the green flag with 17 laps to go. And we're back underway with Big Duke, your race leader. Side by side goes Joe Higgs and Barrett Morton. coming through turn 2 and rolling down the back chute. A kiss of the wall there for the 17 and the 67. We stay green flag racing. We're going to go on board here with Keith Haney. And as Haney rides here just behind the 17 of Lucas Lyons, he's going to be looking for an opportunity. Time's starting to run short here at Darlington, and you've got to be able to grab every position and every point that you can.
Yeah, absolutely. You saw there, he looked to the inside, realized he wasn't going to be able to smoothly as with Lucas Lyons there, and he backs out to race another day as Lyons fights on the inside of Joe Yates there.
Side by side they go. Big Duke lays down fast time at 29.14 seconds with 15 to go. And at that kind of a lap time, you're looking at about 7.5 minutes. Somebody better either crap or get off the pot if they're trying to grab another position. We look back here, Andrew Player side by side with the 87. What a battle we've got going here. Check it out with Player in the McConey setup shop Ford F-150 with that Silverado to the high side, as the Black Sheep Silverado looks to challenge the 18.
Yeah, he's been trying to find his way through this field quickly because he knows he's got a truck that can run up in the front. I mean, he qualified on the pole. He's trying to get back up through there, but it's a lot easier said than done. I mean, you could be the fastest, but you catch him in the wrong place. You know, in the start of a corner, you got to back off differently, and it makes it a hard race to run.
"13 laps to go." Just as an update in the real world, with 12 laps to go now here. They just came out of the half. Philadelphia still leads Kansas City 24-0. Seems to be a pretty good day for folks like you.
Oh, absolutely, and that's. I'm not trying to, I'm not trying to get excited. That's all I'm trying to say. I'm trying to keep a cool, level, calm head on it. Just like Big Duke is trying to keep that cool, level head up there out at the front and run this race down to its completion here with about 11 to go.
To your point, I mean, first of all, great transition from keeping a level head about football. As, I don't think I've ever seen a defending Super Bowl champion who won back-to-back.
Hey, don't start speaking stuff.
No, I'm just saying, I don't think I've ever seen something where they've been blanked over the first half. It's fantastic. 10 laps to go here in the Palmetto State, however. And we look here, and this group of cars, anchored by the 67, has been creeping around all night long. And now the 17 gets all the way past the 67. I'm sorry, the 67 gets all the way past the 17. And now Keith Haney looks out the rearview mirror and sees Lucas Lyons very angry behind him.
Oh yeah, I mean, it looked like the 17 got a little out of hand there, and Haney has been waiting for a chance to jump. The last few laps now, he's had the runs, but he hasn't had power to get through the 17 machine there. But a little bit of help with a little bit of there from the 17, and he's able to power on through.
9 laps to go as Big Duke in the 78 leads the way. It goes Duke, Morton, Haney, Lyons, Yakes. That's your top 5 with McWhorter, Player, Holt, and McQueen. Your top 9. Just 9 trucks on the lead lap.
Yeah, and I mean Duke is right now, he's running like this is said and done. He's putting every bit of rubber that's on these tires out there. He wants the biggest possible lead that he can get and run away with it. And as long as it stays green, it's going to work out for him. He's not saving nothing.
I don't blame him.
Oh, no, absolutely
McWhorter's
not.
back here battling it out with Yakes. And Yates is all over the racetrack trying to make that Silverado 4 wide. And I think he's going to get to a point where he's either going to, check it or wreck it.
Oh, 110%. McWhorter's got a strong truck, and he's got it about 3/4 of the way through each corner, and then all of a sudden, they come out of corner, and he's a bit of a breath, so he doesn't, hit the 87 machine with Yates. And, that's what's costing him there, and at some point, he's going to put him out of his way. He's not going to wreck him, but he's definitely going to say, move.
He's going to ask him politely to please remove himself from his way.
He's going to be politely assertive.
Oh! 5 laps to go. Oh, my.
That could have been something there.
The 18 loses a goose coming out of 2. As Yanks and the 72 are side by side. McWhorter trying everything he can.
He was trying to squeeze him there. He's going to get a little bit of a help as a pick maneuver from the 17 here. They're in the wall.
Oh, they're in the wall. That's going to bring out a caution now.
Caution in the air. This is going to be interesting. We're gonna go to probably green white checkered here. And I mean, does Big Duke still have enough left in the truck to, hold these guys off? I mean, Morton, Haney, McWhorter, they've all been super, super tough trucks. But did Big Duke put every ounce of rubber that he had on those tires out there? That's going to be an interesting thing to see.
There's going to be a lot of decisions that have to be made, and the question becomes: do you have enough fuel? Do you want to come down and change those tires out? At a place like this, cold tires can ruin your night.
Absolutely, but if you're the only guy that's out there,
they're all going to make me look like a clown.
I was kind of on the same thing as you. Really, I feel like everyone else was coming down. It was going to be up to Duke to figure out if he wanted to come down or not and play that game. That basically, if he stayed out, everybody else would have came down anyway, and he would have been out of tires. So that's going to bring a cold tire bug plus some impatience, some anxiety, some power, or some hungriness from some of these drivers, and I think it's going to ultimately put us to where we may use a couple of these green white checkers.
Well, what this is going to do, to your point, with green white checker, this is going to, I'm sure that you just saw what I was just watching. While we're sitting here getting ready to rock and roll, we're going to explain what the green white checker situation is. Now, what that means is when we come around green flag racing, sounds like you live in a war zone. When we come back to green flag racing, we're going to have 2 laps to go. We're going to race around back to the white flag. If a caution should come out between the waving of the green flag and the white flag, we will rack them, stack them, and do it all over again, and we've got 2 tries to do that. However, if, in fact, the white flag does fly, then the next flag will end the race, whether that flag is yellow or checkered. So we've got a whole lot unfolding here at, of all places, the Lady in Black Darlington Raceway. Dave Regal and Jordan Brockell with you here in the Tony Trapasso Memorial Broadcast booth. He loved this place. Folks, for those of you who don't know who Tony Trapasso is, we here at Sim Racing Media strongly invite you to go look through our library. Since before last September when Tony passed away. Because he was on just about every show every day. He was at just about every race every day. And just had a passion for what this is. I'm sorry, September of 23. But he passed away, and we miss him very much. And he is what he is everything that Sim Racing Media stood for. And there has been a big hole in our hearts since September 5th, 2023. However, we carry on, And we carry on very well here on Sunday nights, as Andrew Player going to have control of the field. The iRacing.com pace truck is off. The green flag waves and off we go. NASCAR overtime engaged.
Andrew Player's the only guy out there on old tires. He's going to have a hungry group of trucks behind him. He's going to have to make that wide. Lyons is in the wall. Lyons fell all the way back from second all the way to out of the picture. Haney sideways going to collect the...
Here comes Big Duke. We go.
That's going to hurt.
Let's take a look here and see what happened with Haney. And just brushed the 67 off, did the 72. Hey.
That's got to hurt. 73 sound like it is now expired as well on impact. Haney jumps right to the pits as well.
So that's going to bring up our 6th caution of the evening.
Now, I was trying to see what it looked like. Looks like Player's going to hang on to the lead here. He was under fire by Big Duke there just before the caution came out. I wasn't sure where they were sitting, but, you know, now it proves that, you know, Andrew Player was in the lead still. But, you know, he's got a handful with the trucks behind him. I mean, he's got significantly older tires. I say significantly like it is a ton. Because it is. It's 17 laps here at Darlington. That's a crazy amount of time difference in tires. So, I mean, you know, fresh tires are slick. His kind of look like, I mean, you take a tennis ball and run it across the ground and you see how all the fur comes up. That's pretty much how the rubber of that tire looks like right now.
The fur. Do they have an official word for the fur on a tennis ball?
Fuzz.
Do you think that's an official word?
The official word is probably something that does not even remotely sound like it should be what it is.
It's fair.
And I don't know what it is.
I mean,
it's one of those games. It's like it's one of those like it's like golf. It's got random terms that you don't really understand.
I mean, and the reminder just came up next Sunday at 2:30 in the afternoon. The 2025 edition of the Daytona 500 live with our good friends over on Fox. Chase Elliott in the house in NOLA tonight.
And man, I cannot tell you how excited I am for that as much as I am the rest of this season here too. I mean, I think we'll see some very similar style of racing between the two between Goat Locker Racing and the boys in the NASCAR series across all 3 series, as they all run with the same kind of you know, passion and respect and fierceness. So super excited for that as well as the rest of this season.
Keeping a close eye here on Andrew Player and Big Duke, as Player in the 18 qualified 5th position earlier this evening, now gets ready to bring us back to the green flag as the iRacing.com pace truck is going to dip out of the way momentarily. It's going to be Player, Duke, McWhorter, Wharton, and McQueen. The iRacing.com pace car peels out of the way. Andrew Player with control of the field. He's going to come out of turn number 4. I'll tell you what, those red and white walls look real nice. They're going to look even nicer when they match the checkered flag. We hit the Geico restart zone and we're back underway.
Player, not a great start there. Duke able to stay alongside him. He doesn't have the ability to carry all that speed. The 9 trying to find a way through as McWhorter finds a way after.
Watch this lead pack of trucks. We've got a 2-way battle for the lead. Joseph McWhorter on the rear bumper of Big Duke. They come into turn number 3, around into 4, and as they head on back to the front stretch, nearly making contact, the white flag is in the air. We're racing back to checkers. The 72 of Joseph McWhorter heads on here into turn number 1. He's got just that left rear quarter panel. He's going to turn the 78. Oh, they wreck here in turn number 1. The 78 survives the 72 facing the wrong way. We're still racing as now the 9 of Barrett Morton squeezes past the 78. Now it's all up to Barrett Morton as they roll through turn number 3, allowing him by his Big Duke. Barrett Morton comes out of turn number 4, crosses the start-finish line, and takes the checkered flag right here at Darlington Raceway.
Another unreal finish here from the Goat Locker Racing series. And I mean, that was freaking insane. I mean, they went in side by side, hard racing, and it just, you know, the McWhorter got the worst of it there. But I mean, you can't blame him for trying to, you know, send it in there and run him tight, and yeah, it almost worked.
Barrett Morton comes back onto the front stretch from Louisville, Kentucky.
You know, that's twice. That is twice that Barrett Morton had gotten the lead from a Big Duke and McWhorter collection. Early in the race, you know, Big Duke got a hold of McWhorter, turned him sideways. Barrett Morton came through the leader. Right here at the end, it was a little bit of the opposite, where McWhorter got Big Duke, but Big Duke ultimately ended up, you know, kind of not necessarily hooking on intention, just with how they were sitting there. Hooks the 72 up into the wall, and Morton comes through the leader there, but this time gets that checkered flag to take the win here.
As we're trying to wait for Barrett Morton and Big Duke to come on in here to the waiting room. There we go. There's Big Duke. Now we're just waiting for our race winner, Barrett Morton, to come on in. And while we wait for him, let's go ahead and we'll do this 3, 2, 1. And Jordan, I believe you have with you now Andrew Player.
Hey, how you doing tonight?
Good, man. So, you stay out there for a while. You were kind of the older tire guy to get up into that first position there, and you know, that took a lot. And I know it's a difficult thing to try to hold these guys off when you had the older tire.
Yeah, I didn't think I was going to be able to pull it off. I was hoping for a quick caution there and getting lucky. You know, I was really, I hate to see that last caution or that caution come out like near the end there, probably like 3/4 mark. I was set up. I wasn't good to go to the distance, so I was banking on a win on that, and then that last caution kind of killed my fuel mileage strategy. But I figured I was back a ways. I had nothing else to lose, so I might as well try it and see what would stick. And kind of got lucky with the crash there at the end. But that was a great win by Mr. Morton there.
Yeah, it was certainly a lot of fun to watch up here, and I mean, you were kind of up and down throughout this whole field throughout the night, and we all know that Darlington can be kind of a struggle bus of a track to be at. Just kind of take us through, you know, how the air bug that we see every. Take us through that a little.
Well, you know, I actually really like this track. It's a good track to race at. It takes some skill to stay off the wall, trying to come through with a 0x at the end of the night. That's not easy to do. I don't know if I did it or not, but you know, it takes a little bit of finesse to get around this place. A little bit of strategy as well. You know, I pitted there early, and that put me in the back of the pack, but I was just trying to save my tires and manage my fuel, hoping that there wasn't any more cautions. I did go to that first stretch there, and I was set up to go the distance, and I knew everybody else had to pit, and I was hoping that those newer tires weren't going to run me down there at the end, but that kind of went out the window there near the end. But you know, again, those tires really matter here at this place too. So I'm not surprised, you know, David and Barrett, those guys are running a lot faster than me. So I'm not surprised they were able to pick me off there at the end, but I was just trying to hang on for dear life to see what I could bring it home in.
Well, you come home third, right on the podium. And, you know, certainly there's got to be a group of guys that you got to thank and shout out for tonight's performance, brother.
Yeah, most definitely. Got to thank iRacing, Above the Yellow Line, Sim Motion, obviously INvets for hosting this series. You guys for putting on the broadcast. Obviously, my family for letting me go hang out in the basement, and of course, McConey Setup Shop. They've been a long-time sponsor of mine. I appreciate everything they've done for me throughout the years. So I appreciate them. Kind of a neat throwback I had here. 1993 Dale Jarrett's Interstate Batteries with the McConey Setup Shop. So figured they had kind of a tie to what's the big game tonight, so I figured I kind of run that one.
Well, certainly looked beautiful out there running around the track, and congratulations once again, and see you on the next one, brother.
Hey, thank you all. Have a good night. Appreciate it.
That, of course, the voice of Andrew Player, driver of the number 18 Ford F-150. We're going to put him back on down in. Oh, there he goes. And next up on the podium, I've got him here. Big Duke, driver of the number 78. Yo, buddy, it's Dave up here in the broadcast booth. You got a
Hey,
copy?
fellas, what's happening? How we doing, boys?
Buddy, listen, it's a big night in football, but it's an even bigger night here when you can come across the line P2 at Darlington Raceway.
Yeah, good night, man. Strong run. Got to see how the walls tested there at the very end, but it was a good run, man. It was a great race.
Yeah, now you got a little tangled up there with the 72 toward the end of this piece. What was going on, and was it just rubbing his racing, or what was the situation there?
He was upset because I got a tremendous start at the beginning of the race, and he didn't understand why, and he wanted to whine about it. And then he used me up getting into turn 3 early in the race, and then I stuck my nose in there early on that restart on lap 8, and he come across the nose there. He didn't really like that, so he was just throwing a fit late, if you want the honest answer.
Hey, honesty is the best policy. That's what I've been told, so I'm with you, brother. Listen, man, it was a long night here at Darlington, and obviously this is the third podium in a row for you. But, all things considered, who do you need to thank and who do you need to shout out for this run tonight?
Boy, there's a long list, laundry list, boys. I got Keith Says Yes Motorsports, my sponsor, Keith Powell. He had a ski wreck a couple weeks ago, broke all but 2 of his ribs and one of his shoulders, and a collapsed lung and a bruised lung, but he's on the recovery trail. I actually put his recliner on top of his rig and was racing the other day from his recliner on his rig. So tremendous strength of the man, but hopefully he's feeling better. Operation Valor, everybody over at Goat Locker, INvets, thanks for everything they do. Indiana Department of Veteran Affairs, iRacing, Above the Yellow Line, Taylor Kitchen, everything she's doing over there. I got a new show on Above the Yellow Line Media, Big Duke's Virtual Race Hub. That's coming on Thursday night at 10 o'clock. I had Malik Ray on last week, just doing some interviews of community racers and stuff. But everything that she's doing over there, tremendous talent, up-and-coming talent in the media industry. So shout out to Taylor Kitchen and everybody over there at Above the Yellow Line. So that's what we got this week, man. Hope we keep having these interviews.
Yeah, absolutely. The more times that you get interviewed, that means the better season you're having. So congratulations on the P2 finish, and we'll see you next week.
Well, hey, one more. I did just sign with Power Bolt & Tool here in Central Florida, and Nolan's Wheels. There's a NPO that supplies wagons to hospitals for pediatric cancer wings. So the owner of Power Bolt & Tool decided to sponsor me, and he owns that Nolan's Wheels. He had a son pass away named Nolan from pediatric cancer. So kind of started that, and kind of like what I'm doing here on iRacing, and decided to partner with me. So welcome aboard, Powerbolt.
Excellent. Well, listen, congratulations again, and we'll see you next week at Dover.
Yes, sir. Thank you, fellas.
Thank you, sir. And last but certainly not least, that's for sure, he's our race winner, Barrett Morton. Jordan, I believe you've got him now right here at Victory Lane.
Yeah, Barrett Morton, you got a copy, brother?
Yes, sir. I got you, bud.
Hey, man, so you're riding along, you're sitting in third, you're watching these guys bump and bang and kind of rough each other up, and you see them get together. I mean, what's your thought process there?
It's funny. I've been watching those guys have an old penis measuring contest the entire race. So I told the guys I was in chat with, I said, I'm going to end up winning this race. They're going to wreck each other in 1 and 2, and they and that's exactly what happened. So I mean, I don't want to say I didn't deserve it. I feel like I drove my butt off all night and was up front the entire night, good qualifying and all that stuff. And me and Duke would racing clean all night, and I'll take it any way I can get it. That's for sure. So.
Well, certainly, I mean, you prevail there through their contact and get the win. It's got to be good to get a win at a place like Darlington. It's not an easy track. It's a very big, momentum track, and you got to have finesse, patience, and it takes it's a driver's track in my opinion, and it's a driver that knows maneuver a truck in the way that it wants to be moved to get things done around here.
Yeah, it's difficult. I thought my race was over at the start of that race. I almost lost it, and I hate it for Lucas, but luckily for me, he was the one that lost it. So got really lucky there.
Yeah, and I mean, luck is the name of the game. I mean, you can have all the skill in the world, but have the worst luck, and still, you don't end up with the wins. But you certainly come away with the win here tonight, and be a group of people that you got to thank for this performance.
Yeah, of course. You guys at Sim Racing Media, INvets, I need to get those guys down here to Louisville. There's all kinds of people. This Riley's Roses I've got on my truck, made by RD Designs. That is a team for Cystic Fibrosis Foundation, Bandits Motorsports, Cofield Supplied Service. All the guys over at Bandits really helped me out tonight. Jeremy Holt was a big help tonight as well, and Mark Cofield. So all those guys, Lucas, he's always helped me drive this track. So it was nice to be able bang doors with him tonight. He just had a little bit worse luck than I did.
Well, certainly, like you said, you come away with the win, at a difficult track like Darlington, and maybe later on down through the season we'll have some more conversations with you being winner at some more tracks, brother.
Yeah, I hope so. It's been definitely fun. As long as I can make these races, I definitely enjoy running them.
All right, brother. Thank you for your time.
All right, thanks, Jordan.
Well, Jordan, another one in the books here in the Goat Locker Truck Series, brought to you by INvets. We want to thank everybody for tuning in tonight as we take one final look at our race results tonight. Barrett Morton brings home the checkered flag, and he is joined on the podium by Big Duke and Andrew Player. Joe Yakes and Alex McQueen make up the rest of your top 5, while Kevin Price and Lucas Lyons finish 6th and 7th. 8th goes to Joseph McWhorter, while Jeremiah Holt and Charles Habert make up the rest of your top 10. Mark Cofield finishes 11th with Keith Haney in 12th. Cliff Adams is in 13th, while Mark Holofield brings home 14th place honors, with Jamie Libke, Casey Jones, Tyler Justice, and James Kaufman rounding out the rest of the field. Just 5 combined laps for Justice and Kaufman, so it was a rough night for them. And that, unfortunately, is the way that it ends for the drivers of the 33 and the 10. But for myself, Dave Regal, and my broadcast partner extraordinaire, Mr. Jordan Brockel, who I know is anxious to get back to that football game, we want to thank everybody for tuning in tonight and making us a part of your evening. We want to thank you for welcoming us into your homes, onto your phones, wherever you may be and however you may be listening. And tomorrow and every day as you walk down the road of life, please don't play in traffic. Good night, everyone.